What is up, underdogs? What is up, IDP Army? What is up, fantasy football fans? It is your man, Jordan Rains. I am joined opposite the man, the myth, the legend, Dave Kluge. How you doing, Dave?
Doing great, man. Suffering, I'm still feeling the sting of last week's loss. We'll
Oh,
uh we'll get into that, I'm sure, but I'm doing great. Just got off the mailbag show with Troy and Vic. Had a really fun time on there. Wednesdays are great. I just get to chop it up with some friends and talk some football. It really doesn't get any better than that, does it?
amen, amen. Hump day around here is a good one. So we'll be right back to listen to this intro, this banger we got, and we will get you guys into the show. All right, guys, I'm sitting opposite one of the best, objectively, one of the best rankers in the fantasy football industry. Dave, how do you do it week in and week out? Like, just give me the secret. What's the sauce?
I live and breathe football. That's my secret. I don't have any sort of crazy process. I don't have spreadsheets or I mean, I do have some spreadsheets that I work with, but for me, so much of it is just kind of going with my gut. And it has helped me pretty well over the last few years, and it's shown this year in the rankings, which is pretty fun. But yeah, I live and breathe football. That is my process, is that I don't take a minute off during the week.
Amen. Hey, and it's on brand. One of the football guys. All right, go check out Dave's work over there. He writes a weekly article right now. It's the three up, three down, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you for plugging that. Yeah, I just started
Yep.
that one a couple weeks ago. This week, I won't go deep into it, but my three up: Kyle Pitts, obviously, Ryan Tannehill. I think that we saw him step up a little bit last week, and I, want to with the increased usage for AJ Brown. I think that Ryan Tannehill goes way up. Damian Harris, I've got him trending up for the year, but not crazy about him this week. Trending down, these are pretty obvious ones: Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson, and Allen Robinson.
Yeah, dude, Mike Davis was kind of, I won't want to say it was easy to see, but it was, I mean, on this channel, I definitely faded him. I know he was kind of gassed up just based on the receiving work. I mean, but it's one of those things where we've learned this year that receiving work comes and receiving work goes. Being a good functional running back is forever. You know what I mean? That's why Derrick Henry doesn't matter if he catches passes or not. I quickly did want to say, if you guys want to go back and clown me, laugh it up, a couple of weeks ago, right before Kyle Pitts broke out, I put out a pretty ridiculous little video on my Twitter feed of me just clowning Kyle Pitts in the analytics community. So I got pretty washed up on that one. So I'll take the L. It was a funny video, though. I mean, and he since then he's gone off for y'all, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
But
I
man,
I
Kyle
cracked a
Pitts
joke
is
on Twitter just a few weeks ago. I said, "Hey, wellness check on all my Kyle Pitts truthers out there." And, man, he made me eat my words immediately after that.
yeah.
That dude is looking like the real deal.
Oh yeah, and I mean in dynasty circles, which is where the gas has been coming from, the fuel for the fire. Yeah, I mean we all know he's going to be good. Um, the thing has always been the rookie thing, and a lot of guys did have a lot of faith that he would break the rookie tight end model. Wasn't looking great. He's had a couple of good games, but he does get the extra game this season, and it isn't. We'll have to see how it goes. But he's looking hot. I mean, he's going to be a top three dynasty tight end for a while. I,
So
I, I,
you wanna
I
hear a crazy number that I just pulled on Kyle Pitts? Just
sure.
did just did this one the other day. So right now, the all-time rookie receiving record for tight ends, Mike Ditka set this in 1962. That's how long that record has stood around. The pace that Kyle Pitts is on right now, he could drop his per game production by 23% and still set the all-time receiving record for tight ends. I mean, what he's doing is just unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I mean, he's different. He doesn't look like your typical tight end. So kudos to anyone that bought in. Kudos to anyone that did not sell. The dip, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. So, you want to go ahead and give us one of your Kluge fades? I don't know if you. It's a new segment we're gonna have around here. You kind of hit on Damian Harris, but why are you really, this week coming off of his breakout performance? What makes you fade him this week?
So the big thing that I saw with Damian Harris, and you expect this with Bill Belichick running backs. You know, he has a role for his running backs. He doesn't have anybody that's going to be an all-purpose back. We've never seen that from Bill Belichick. You know, he has a whole carousel of running backs and he rotates them through based on what their strengths are. Damian Harris, his two strengths are early down and goal line work. So I think that he has an opportunity to, maybe punch in a touchdown, maybe at 80 yards or something like that, but that is if they can remain competitive in this game. So my fear is that going and playing against the Chargers, this game is just going to get out of hand quickly. They're traveling to Los Angeles. They're facing an explosive Chargers offense. So, when you look at his big games, they've come against games that you expect the Patriots to win, where these game scripts have worked in his favor. This is a game where I can see Damian Harris getting faded out very, very quickly. They go up 2 scores in the first quarter. We might not see Damian Harris in the second, third, or fourth quarter. So when they're down, that's when they used to lean on James White, who's now out, but now Brandon Bolden and JJ Taylor have taken on those receiving responsibilities. So in games that you expect the Patriots to win, you can pretty much pencil Damian Harris in for 100 yards and a touchdown. But if you think that the Patriots are going to lose or even worse, get blown out, I think those are the games that you want to fade Damian Harris in. And we saw it against Tampa Bay. We saw it against the Saints. They went up or they went down early and he struggled to produce. And I could see that happening again this week against the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still Bill Belichick and the boys, and we saw the mighty Chargers take a little bit of a beating against the Baltimore Ravens. So it'll be an interesting one to watch. I definitely understand and agree with the thought process, though, and he's a good fade. Where do you have him this week exactly?
RB 19, and his consensus is RB 8. So I'm fading him pretty darn hard. And
Okay.
obviously in the same vein that I'm fading Damian Harris, JJ Taylor, and Brandon Bolden are two guys that are way up on my rankings this week.
Yeah, I think I did see something today by our man Ian Hartitz. He posted something about, this is an IDP show, so I'll go ahead and speak to it. But he was the defense of the Chargers being pretty bad against the run. He's not wrong. They are missing their first round linebacker, who was basically the leader of that middle of the line. So they have Drew Tranquil and who's the other guy? Kazir White. They're both serviceable, but they're not great linebackers. So I could, they can get run on. And I know that Ian put something out there basically, he works for PFF. So he has to say, look at all these grades. All these things say that Damian Harris have a good game. But like you said, if you zoom out a little bit away from the actual individual player and the guys he's facing and look around him with the matchup writ large, even though it is a great environment to run, he's not on a team that's built to go blow for blow for a team like the
Yeah.
Chargers if they get humming. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think 18 or 19 is a good spot. I think 8 is a bit high for our peer group out there, but we'll see who gets the last laugh. It's usually Kluge
Right.
though.
Now you wanna zoom out even a little bit farther and look at this, and the reason that I have him trending up is he does have some really, really nice matchups coming up that I think are gonna work in his favor. Specifically, though, you fast forward all the way to week 17, they get to play the Jaguars, and Damian Harris is going to be a smash play in week 17. That's a game where they should have no problem winning. We know what Bill Belichick does to rookie quarterbacks. He's gonna shut down Trevor Lawrence. That's gonna be a game where Damian Harris might rush for 180 and 2 touchdowns. So I'm stashing Damian Harris. I'm making offers for him wherever I can just for that week 17 matchup.
I have some Damian Harris, and I'll tell you, if you came poking around, I might give him to you. So I think that's a guy you can go out and acquire right now. I see a lot of these people on Twitter like, go get this player, go get that player. I'm like, you realize that like the time to do that has come and gone. Like
Yeah, go
now
out and
is
get
not
Kyle
when you
Pitts.
yeah, no, not now. You should have got him, yeah, back in the day. But
You,
all
you
right,
want to
well, you
hear?
guys,
Let me just throw this in before we go on. I did get Kyle Pitts a couple weeks ago. And
did
I
you?
almost feel bad for this. Do you ever have a trade where you just like do somebody so dirty that you almost feel a little bit of regret for it?
Literally
I mean, I
never.
I don't either, but
Mm-mm.
I'm sure some people out here listening do. But the day before Chris Carson went on IR, I flipped Chris Carson for Kyle Pitts.
Ooh, that's ice cold. That's
Yeah,
awesome though. That's what you want. That's what you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
'Cause you've had that exact same thing happen to you. You woke up the next day after a trade and everything's broken. And you're
Oh,
like, "Oh,
last year
no."
I traded James Robinson away and got Joe Mixon the week before Joe Mixon's big blow up game, and I'm dancing, feeling good. Well, guess what? He got hurt the very next week and didn't see a snap for the
Never
rest of the
played again.
season. Yeah, so
At
it goes
least
both ways.
if he got you a W, that's not the
Yeah.
worst. James Robinson, though, I mean, he's proven a lot of the haters wrong. like we're doing here on the Underdogs. James Robinson is the literal definition of an underdog. What he did last year will be forgotten, but it shouldn't be. So go Joe James Robinson some love. All right, y'all, you've hung around 10 whole minutes. Kudos to you. We are going to do an underdog draft head to head, $5, Kluge versus Reigns. We evened up the scorecard last week. Kluge was up on me 2-1. He thought he got a little full of himself last week with that
Ugh.
KC stack. He got Patrick Mahomes, he got Tyreek Hill, he got Travis Kelsey. He was doing his little, Tom Cruise dance, and I think he put up like what 40 points. Ooh, not pretty.
I
So
I gotta be honest with you, man. I didn't even check the score. I knew I had that KC stat, and as soon as that game ended, I think I messaged you and I just said, "Hey, good win," but
oh,
I never even took a look at that score. That was brutal. That was the worst game of Patrick Mahomes' career.
dude,
I mean, I don't know about statistically, but I've watched Patrick Mahomes since he came into the league, and I've
every
never seen
game.
him look that bad.
I've a Chiefs fan. I've watched every game of Patrick Mahomes' career. Now, no, this is not a no disrespect to Mina Kimes, but she said something today that I was just like, "Girl, you are living in a dream." She said the Chiefs' offense looks fine. She said they're not broken. Girl, that offense is broken,
Mhm,
broken. Okay,
mhm.
I mean what they're doing doesn't work now. So
N
I
and I saw somebody else make the comparison to Aaron Rodgers a few years ago. Remember when Aaron Rodgers had no receivers? So it's a little bit different because Patrick Mahomes, first of all, has Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey, so he doesn't have that problem. But there was that like 2 to 3 year stretch where Aaron Rodgers had no receivers, and every single play he was running outside the pocket and trying to make these like
mhm.
miracle plays, and it almost started to hurt him because he
Well,
wasn't letting the game come to him. And somebody said, and I just agree with it 100%. That's kind of where Patrick Mahomes is now.
it's
Rather
a
than just
multitude of things.
hitting his drop back and making that easy throw, he wants to come out the back of the pocket and spin around and, run around and make some miraculous play every time.
They're never in a position. It always comes down to the last possession. They don't have a
Mhm.
defense or a run game that allows anything else. So what that really means is it comes down to every possession because they have to hang, and they've come to a point where they can't score. They can't go up on people because for whatever reason that we just can't. We're getting behind too early. Our defense gives us nothing. Um, and I mean, the offensive line is fixed. Okay, that's great, but still, like, we also don't have any second or third receivers. And I mean, yeah, it's just not great. So,
Josh Gordon, baby.
no, not Josh Gordon, baby. Get out of here. All right, so me and Dave are gonna go head to head. I'm gonna add this to the stream. So you guys know the drill. Hopefully by now, go subscribe to the show. Also, go join Underdog. They're doing a new promo. You give them you sign up, you put in $100, up to $100, they'll match you with $100. That is literally the best deal they have. That's like the best deal you can get on any fantasy platform. We don't talk about and do drafts on underdogs just because we're making money on it or because we're savants at fantasy football. It's because we actually enjoy playing on this platform. I know that I play on all the time. Dave does as well, and it's growing. Okay. So do yourself a favor, get in early, learn what it's all about because it's only going to get bigger next year. Get in on some of the weekly tournaments, get on the head to head drafts with your friends. $3, $5, $15, $25, $100, $1,000, whatever you want to put at stake, you can go head to head. They have all kinds of other stuff too, NBA's on there, etc. So, but Dave and I, we're football junkies, so we're going head to head here. Like I said, it's 2-2. Dave, you think I'm going to get the 101?
I mean, it would only make sense that you get it 5 times in a row. I'll go ahead and enter right now, and we'll see how this shakes out.
Amen, brother. It would only make sense. All right, so you're in here. All right, so what do I click? Go to draft. Oh shit.
Oh!
What did I
Mm.
click? What happened?
No,
Oh,
you didn't click
Kruger gets
anything wrong.
it.
I got the 101. I don't even know what to do here.
Well,
Whew.
Derrick Henry's on the slate, so there's your answer.
Is it though?
Oh,
Yeah.
you gonna leave him to me? Okay.
No,
I
I'm taking
Here's my
Derrick Henry.
thoughts on Derrick Henry. I know you look at this and you think Indiana, and his projection is kind of low compared to what has been the last few weeks. But Darius Leonard and the boys, yeah, they're probably gonna put some numbers up for IDP, but it's still Derrick Henry. And they have the receivers to get down near the goal line. So I think 19 is a very safe projection for him and as the highest projected guy. Quickly, what are your thoughts on Mark Ingram going back to the Saints? That actually broke right before we hopped on here.
I do not like it. I don't like it one bit. I think that really caps Alvin Kamara. We saw that a few years back where they were splitting touches, and Mark Ingram was getting a lot of goal line work, and that has really been the nice thing for Alvin Kamara this year is that he's getting the passing work, goal line work. I mean, he's getting all of it. So this definitely
Mhm.
caps him. I think it knocks him down a few spots in the rest of season rankings. What I'm more excited about though is that this opens up some opportunity for David Johnson in Houston to get it done again. So all in
Yeah.
on that. But to the draft, got 10 seconds left. Yes, this is the first time that I've had the one-on-one, so I'm taking Big Dog, and I'm very happy about that. I don't care who he's playing against. I think that's gonna be a competitive game, which means that Derrick Henry is just gonna get even more work than normal.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, last week Cooper Cup and my bias did not lead me astray, so I'm going back to the well. Back to Cooper Cup. And you know what? Jamar Chase is magic. He's lightning in a bottle. He's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL already. I'm taking him.
I like it.
Boom.
This one right here, I already got my stud RB1, Derrick Henry, that I'm happy about, and I was really, really hoping that, both of these guys were gonna drop to me because I'm using these picks right here, 2 and 3, to stack what I think is just gonna be an incredible stack this week. Buffalo going up against Miami, they are just going to spank them. I think they win by, it wouldn't surprise me if they win by 30 points. So, Stephon Diggs, who has been kind of a disappointment so far this year, but I'm expecting one of those boom games come in. And then, obviously matching him up with Josh Allen. So got
Yeah.
that stack, and I'm feeling confident about that.
Nice, nice. All right. I went wide receiver, wide receiver. That leaves me a few options here. Do I want to go with my third wide receiver? And if I do, who is it? Um, AJ Brown did us right. And the thing I like is he did it on basically the same number of targets he's been getting, 9. So I'm going back to the well. I'm taking me some AJ Brown here. Even though Debo has been getting more targets, I'm still going with the big play guy. And I like several of the running backs here. So I'm gonna look to tight end quickly. Yeah, I really like Kyle Pitts this week. I like what he did this last week. Over 100 yards in back-to-back games. Just that alone for a tight end is pretty special. You
That
doesn't
was
have to
my
name.
pick there. If you didn't take him, I was going to. All right.
Bingo. All right, so you're probably looking for a tight end or a wide receiver, right?
I'm going with another running back here just because he
Ooh,
dropped. I already talked about the game script that I expect is that the Chargers are gonna go up big. So give me the running back on the Chargers, Austin Eckler. I am really happy with the Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler stack. And now I'm just gonna shooting blind here. Debo Samuel had a calf injury today at practice, so I'm not too crazy about that. Um, you know, Antonio Brown is expected not to play this week. I think that Mike Evans is going to draw coverage from Marshawn Lattimore. We saw Marshawn Lattimore keep DK Metcalf in check last week. I think the Saints are pretty susceptible to the slot receiver. So with Antonio Brown out, give me Chris Godwin. Might be a little bit of a reach, but I got him projected high this week.
I like that. I like that. All right, I believe I'm on my I need a running back and a wide receiver or quarterback. I'm taking JT, Jonathan Taylor. Now, the flip side of that is I could take Najee, but I know that the Cleveland defense has not been giving up a lot on the ground. And Jonathan Taylor's been lights out the past 3 weeks, even without the super, super high receiving numbers last week. He had 100 yards rushing. That is going to leave me with a quarterback. Jalen Hurts, if I want to take the floor. But you know what? I'm going to take Joe Burrow. I'm stacking the Lightning with the Thundermaster. All right. I should have done this last week in my tournament plays. I'd have won a lot more money at Underdog if I had, but not mess it up this week. So who are you gonna finish out with here?
Man, this guy's been such a disappointment the last few weeks. But I need a tight end. Kyle Pitts is gone. Travis Kelsey and Darren Waller are not on this slate.
Take Gesicki.
So yeah, taking best available, man. And that for me is TJ Hawkinson. I don't feel good about it, but the targets have been there. Hopefully this dude can do something for me this week.
All right. Well,
I mean,
let's
you got the one smash tight end in this slate. Like it and I should have looked at that a
dude.
little bit closer. If you're not
I'm
getting Kyle
telling
Pitts, you're shooting in the dark here.
I'm telling you, Gesicki's a smash anymore. You gotta
He
start
is.
talking,
He's
put
a
some
wide
respect on his
receiver.
name.
He's doing the
Exactly. That's
same
what
thing as
Kyle
Kyle
Pitts is.
Pitts.
That's
Yep.
what they sold me Kyle Pitts. Here's you a
Yeah.
nice
I
use.
thought
Here's a
about taking
certified
Gesicki.
pre-owned Mike Gesicki. All right. He's not as souped up as them Kyle Pitts is, but he'll get the job done.
Yeah.
Just to burn a
You just
little
gotta stop
rubber.
trying to hurdle people. Did you see him try to hurdle somebody the other day and he just
No,
caught him in midair and, like, put him
I'll
on the
be real.
ground?
I've watched like 30 seconds of Miami football this year. So
They're not a
all
fun
right.
team
So
to
let's
watch.
walk us through your team here. It looks like a good one.
Yeah, so, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs got them with the 2 and 3 pick, which I'm very happy about that stack. those running backs are just filthy. Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler. I think they're the top 2 running backs in the NFL right now. Chris Godwin, like I said, might have been a bit of a reach, but I'm just trying to read through the news right now. Antonio Brown was spotted in practice on crutches. And then, like I mentioned, going up against New Orleans Saints, Marshawn Lattimore, he's a big and physical cornerback. And I think that he, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm going to as soon as we get off the show. Obviously, Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore have a decent history together. Do you know this? Being the IDP guy, do you know how Mike Evans fares against Marshawn Lattimore
Bad,
historically?
poorly. Sub 100
So
yards in basically every matchup. They always get into pushing and shoving matches. Mike Evans still catches a couple of meaningful balls, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about Mike Evans as a receiver. He doesn't necessarily have to have 103, touchdowns to get like that pivotal
yeah,
3rd and
5 yards
10.
and 3 touchdowns.
He'll still get the 3rd and 10 on Lattimore, the
Yep.
one that really matters, but Lattimore will mostly shut him down. Our buddy
And
Ian
that's
Hartitz,
what we
who
saw with DK just last week. Everybody, like, if you look at DK's final stat line, it looked great, but it was one big play and
it
then one
was.
short cross across the middle, and that was it. And even on that big play, the 84-yard touchdown, I think
He
I saw some
fell.
OPI.
And
I think
there
I saw some
was, you're
OPI.
right. I was
Mhm.
biting my tongue. I didn't even speak it out loud because I was like, ooh,
Mhm.
DK gave him a little shove. Got away with
Yep.
it though. I mean, when you're that big, I mean, it wasn't even really a shove. I mean, it was just like that's just how DK moves. Like when he puts his
When
arm
you
out,
saw that
people
when
fall
they
over.
got into that little pushing match after, though, DK shoved Marshawn Lattimore, and he looked
Dude,
like a rag doll, and then
it
when
was just
Marshawn comes back at him, he barely budged him. Like, DK had to take a step to the side to even sell it to the ref.
it was so dude, it was so funny. All right, here it is. I'll read it right to you. Ian Hartitz put this out 4 hours ago. Mike Evans, 8 career matchups against Marshawn Lattimore. Um, Okay, so here they are. 1 reception, 13 yards, 0 touchdowns, 6 targets. 5 for 55 on 13 targets. 7 for 147 and a touchdown on 7 targets. That's the only good game he's ever
One
had
good
on him.
game.
And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, which I don't, but I'm pretty sure Lattimore was like hurt that game too. But anyway, I'll move on. 486-0 on 6, 0-0-0 on 3 targets, 1-2 for 1 on 4 targets, 4 for 64 on 6, and 1-3-1. So you're essentially looking at Mike Evans. He's basically putting up a couple of
Yeah.
receptions a game, like 2 or 3 a game. So
So
yeah,
throw Mike
I
Evans
think
in with Damien Harris for a fade of the week for me.
yeah. So yeah, he's a good player to fade. Although I did see another smart guy on PFF, Dwayne McFarland. He said that it's
Yeah,
going to be hard not to put Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in the top 12 every week. With AB out of
AB
the
out.
lineup. Yep.
I mean, hey,
So
if Jameis Winston could make the both our wide receiver ones, I think Tom Brady will be just fine.
Jameis Winston needs to get away from Sean Payton. Sean Payton's too worried about everything looking a certain type of way. He's got a Ferrari and he's driving it around like it's a Cadillac. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm just like, dude, it's not a boat. Okay. Take it to the racetrack. But again, he doesn't have any wide receivers either because Sean Payton runs his whole offense through Alvin freaking Kamara. All right, I'm so over it. Okay,
Let's hear
so
your team, Jordan.
here's my team. I got Joe Burrow going up against the New York Jets, and I stacked him with Jamar Chase. I'm really hoping for magic. I know there are some guys who don't like to go back to the well after a player has a big game. I don't like to play like that. I don't like to chase points, but I mean, just because you have a good game doesn't mean you're going to have a bad game the next game. That's just kind of a silly thought process. I don't like to look at things like that. So I got Cooper Cup, another perfect example. 2 weeks ago, he had a great game. Took him last week, still had a great game. I'm taking him again. Hopefully, has a third great game. AJ Brown. I mean, I'm glad to see that he's finally putting up the numbers to match the usage. The usage has been there. He's just been shitting his guts out, I guess. I don't know what his problem been. And then Kyle
Totally.
Pitts. Like I said, I have one dynasty share of Kyle Pitts, and I was kind of moaning and groaning about it a couple of weeks ago, but now it's looking pretty nice. And on this slate, he was the best tight end available. We don't get Mark Andrews. Kittle, for what he's worth, was not on this slate either. Gronk, I don't know if Gronk's going to be playing this week or not. I think he's out. I didn't
I don't
see.
think they officially said it yet, but definitely trending in that direction.
Okay, and then we know Kelsey's not on this slate either. So Kyle Pitts, I mean, he's getting the yards. Like I said, back-to-back 100-yard games. That's rare for any tight end, period, bar none, let alone a rookie. To have that kind of upside available to me, I'll take it. So that is our teams. The winner will get $9. Underdog will get we'll pay our tithe to Underdog, the gods of the underdogs. Josh Norris and Hayden Winks. You're welcome. Here's $1. All right, so What's next? What are we doing now, Dave? Are we done?
I think that's it. I think we did
All
it.
right. All right.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
we'll come back next week and, hopefully by next week, one of us is gonna have the lead again. You know, we're tied 2-2 right now, but one of us
yep.
goes up 3-2 next week. So
It's
this is a big
2-2.
one.
It's 2-2. Do us a favor if you're on YouTube, which you should be. Go to the comments. Tell us whose team you think is going to win. I've asked you to do this past couple of weeks. I've only got like one comment. Comment, please. If you're listening to the podcast, follow us. If you're on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. If you're on Apple, we would really appreciate it. Trying to build up the podcast numbers a little bit over there. I got nothing else. I got a show tomorrow. What is today? Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow or Friday morning, I'll have the IDP ranking show. We'll be on Sunday morning at 11 Eastern for the start sit, kind of debate. And yeah, what do you got going on the rest of the week?
The rest of this week is gonna be pretty quiet for me. I got Lauren Carpenter coming on the Launchpad tomorrow at 4 PM, so, definitely recommend checking that out, and that's pretty much it for me for the rest of this week, but, Monday, I got invited to do the Waiver Wire show for Fantasy Pros, so that'll be my first time on the Fantasy Pros Network. Be sure to tune into that. I'm very excited about that, and, with that being November 1st, I will be, unveiling
Green.
my mustache for the first time. No,
Oh,
I'm just taking the cheeks down, I'm not gonna grow the mustache out, but yes, I will have a mustache on, November 1st, a short one, and then you will get to watch it just get bushier and bushier and bushier as the month
oh,
goes on.
my face is already itchy. Quick question: where can people find the Launchpad?
They can find it, my Twitter is the easiest way to find it, just at Dave Kluge, Kluge.
Gotcha. Yep. Check that out, y'all. Show Dave some love. Read his articles. They're good. Follow his rankings. They're objectively good. Okay. The haters will say it's fake, but it's not. All right. We'll see you guys next week.